I've replaced the two electrolytic capacitors that are now about a quarter of the size of the originals. This is an old waxy electrolytic, which was looks like a 16 microfarad 400 volt, and this was a 16 microfarad 450 volt. So I've put a couple of 22 microfarad 450 volt capacitors in their place, and hopefully that will improve things, because I know these are going to be pretty much dead by now. If they haven't gone short circuit, they've probably gone open circuit, and they're probably not short circuit, but I don't think there'll be much in terms of capacitance anymore. So replace these two. I'm probably going to replace all of the capacitors in here, because they're all pretty old and likely to be leaky right now, because the paper capacitors, the paper tends to deteriorate, and eventually they'll lose their capacitance or go short circuit, so turning into resistors instead of capacitors. So all these waxes and these sealed tight, they're sealed tight with leakage, and then there's some more waxes and another sealed tight here. So 4 sealed tight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and another sealed tight down there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sealed tight, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 waxy capacitors, or maybe 8 actually. I might have missed one around the corner there. So I'm going to try it now that I've replaced these electrolytics, and see if the thing comes to life or not. I've also replaced one of the tubes, which I now can't put my hands on, but I just replaced one anyway. I'll have to sort that out. One of the duplicates, and I think it's the 6SQ7. 6S, the 6SK7, and it was either the 6SK7 or the 6SQ7 that I replaced, because it had half or part of the tube had deteriorated and wasn't functioning. I think I showed that on the tube tester. So that's now been replaced. So I'm going to give it a quick try and see what happens in terms of what it does now. So put in the, I've disconnected the speaker from the case for convenience, because the case was very much getting in the way. So let's plug this speaker in and see what it does. I'm running this off a isolation transformer right now for safety purposes, and probably... Oh, and I remade the power cable. The power cable had been spliced. And I remade the power cable completely here. Use the existing cable, I've just shortened it a little bit, but I don't see that's going to be a problem. I'm going to probably need to plug the antenna in as well for it to give me any sort of performance. Otherwise I'll probably just get a lot of noise on this radio. So anyway, here we go. Turn some power on. I've also cleaned the volume control here, which was noisy. Well, we've got display illumination. Okay, we're getting some life. I think I'm going to reconnect the loop antenna to see if that helps, because there's a lot of noise. Probably noise isn't going to help.
Really great to be first. BNY Mellon was the first stock listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And after
wow,
we were the first.
We've got some life.
We were the first new payment network in the U.S. in over 40 years. Real-time payments really allow consumers and businesses to instantly transact all day, every day. Whether you are investment manager, fintech, or bank.
So
To your clients. And we share innovations like these throughout our
we have some life.
is integrating real-time payments into its investor portal for wealth management firms. It's easy and can help accelerate money.
I don't hear any hum, so the power supply is functioning okay now.
To start the conversation.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40.
So that's good. I know I've got an issue with the tuning because the roller here that operates the tuning is slipping, and it was a piece of rubber, like a rubber roller, like a pinch roller off a tape recorder, and it's slipping on the shaft here, but it's also shrank in the center where it grips the dial string. So I've got to work out some sort of option for modifying that so that it will tune properly.
Rate subject. Learn more at ibkr.com/compare. Show on Bloomberg 1130.
All right, so it's working on AM at least on the broadcast band. So I think I'm going to carry on replacing some of the components, and that will hopefully improve things even more. And do that from power. It's a 0.05 microfarad, 0.05 microfarad. It's like a 0.1. Yeah, this is a prime candidate to come out of here, linking the two tubes together, because I expect it's got a high voltage on the one side, passing the signal from the plate to the grid of the other tube, and possibly this one too. Well, I'm going to change them anyway. You know, for the cost of a few capacitors, it's just not worth leaving these old ones in place. So 0.1600 volt. So that's that waxy. I'm going to test all these capacitors afterwards, just out of curiosity. That's another 0.1. And it's going to ground here. And this pin here. Just trying to determine which end is the screened end. It's not very easy to tell. A bit more noise. So that's the screened end. Foil end to ground. think I'm going to try it again, see how well it's working. Isolate the unit from the mains for a minute, and reattach the antenna, the loop antenna that it comes with, and see if it performs any better. Up if I switched it on, wouldn't it? Turn the power on.
Market positioning, especially the models that we track, don't match the current narrative, and the narrative seems 3 weeks. I think a big part of it, there's a lot of focus on the a lot about, particularly the euro, China. We've seen data surprises in China going from standard deviation positive.
Lifestyle behavior. So we know that
Cross-checking Mark Stone in Game 3.
No NBA playoffs tonight. The Nuggets are ready. The NBA Finals. Their travel day in the East. Getting back.
View of the origins of COVID-19 that President Biden ordered in 2021. We now.
So as far as the radio reception is concerned, it seems to be working pretty well now. I need to put a better antenna on here because I'm indoors right now and most of this area is actually screened from external RF. So I'm not going to be picking up very good signals in this location right now. So I really need to try it with an external antenna and see how well it performs with the external antenna. And so that's probably going to be the next step. As far as it's functioning, I think it's functioning pretty well. I'm probably going to continue and change these other old capacitors. Right now these are not really under load in terms of voltage, so I'm not too concerned about them. If they got 200 or 300 volts across them, then I would change them immediately, but they're typically just being used for RF purposes, so not too concerned about them at this moment in time. I think the next thing is going to be getting the tuning functioning properly, and a good external antenna, and see how we go from there.